Hello. Hello, hello. Oh gosh. Knocking stuff all over the place. Good afternoon. We're back. And things, I've laid things out a bit differently, because, I got, VSmart for my desk. Let me pull up a picture, actually. My setup is coming together. This is what I'm working with now, which is nice. But as you can see from the arbitrary metal arm over on the right hand side of the image here, the attachment for my laptop to go on the VESA mount hasn't arrived yet. So it's coming tomorrow, and then I can mount the laptop and everything will be good. I'll move the microphone over onto the left hand side and we'll be in a good place. But for the time being, my laptop is currently sat down there, and I've had to move my camera for some reason because it just didn't look like it was in the right place anymore. But it means I got my keyboard back, which is great. Unfortunately, I lost the cable, so I can't actually use it right now, but that's exciting. Always something that I look forward to having around for, you know, writing music for the games, for the like freelance stuff that I do as well, because, you know, I do freelance audio stuff. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about what we're doing today. So, as we know, for the past few streams, we've been looking at this chess thing, and we were kind of making progress with it. Let me just hit play on this real quick. We can take a look where we were at. So we have all these pieces. We can go ahead, select them, move them. The enemy will make a move as well, and this is completely dynamic too. So we can like go ahead and create new moves that will that we can add to our chess pieces. We can change the chess pieces that we've got, all using scriptable objects. So this is really cool, and it's a good foundation for where we're trying to head to. Aaron, hello, welcome. I was just about to talk about some magic stuff. I actually spent some time kind of planning out the pieces and how I want pieces to mesh together for this, from like a code architecture point of view. So this is very exciting, because I think it's basically going to mean we completely refactor everything that we've got, which is fine, because it means that we're going to be able to do anything that we want to do from a design perspective, and I think we can probably get all of this done today with the foundation that we've got, and it should be okay. Now that I've said that, we know that it's not going to happen, so let's have a look through what I've got planned out. The idea is it's pretty close to what we've already got, actually. There's just a few minor abstractions that we're making. So what we've got at the moment as, I think, piece data, which is the scriptable object that we're using to create our pieces, and then be able to assign those to like a set of player pieces or enemy pieces, whatever it may be. We're going to abstract this out into a piece template. And the piece template then is made up of a piece adjustment, which will be something like a way of moving, some special ability or passive reaction, whatever it may be. We can mess around with those as we see fit. And then the piece data itself will just be the name, the basic mesh, and possibly any like base behavior. We'll see. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet quite what I'd like to do with that, but we can play around with it. And then from the piece template, we can generate a actual piece instance. So in my head, this is a class. I've left a comment here saying, could this be a struct? Because I think it probably could be. We're never going to have a piece be null as such. Like, if we're making an instance of a piece, it's always going to be, we'll never have a reference to a piece that is null, is what I'm trying to get at. So maybe we could use it as a struct, have it be non-nullable, just use it as a nice lightweight data structure effectively, that we can use to store our piece's information, the moves it can make, the extensions it has, all the rest of it, and then that's like our data container, that we can use for everything else in the game. So obviously we want to be able to have it so that the player can go through multiple levels of playing different chess games, and that's going to come in the form of the match manager, which is in turn controlled by a game manager. We're not going to deal with game management today, we're just going to do match management, but in that we can have a chess deck, which will be a object that holds a set of pieces and their initial starting positions, and that, yeah, like I say, can have reference to a piece class. Likewise, a piece object can then have reference to a piece class, and we can have the piece object is going to have a reference to a game piece visual, which is going to be an abstract class replacing our piece visual that we have currently, because we maybe want to have pieces show up visually in different scenarios and therefore want to have them do different things. So one of those things is I'd like to have a shop piece visual and a game piece visual. So piece visual, yeah, piece visual is the abstract class, game piece visual is the instance of that will be referenced by the piece object when you're actually playing a game of chess. Cool. And then for the most part, the board manager and everything is going to work the same. We're going to mess around with the selection controller a little bit, because I'd actually like to make things more dynamic so that we can, it's a better user experience basically. So yeah, this is kind of where we're at. Let's get into it. So first things first, I think we should probably, let's just jump straight into some code. I want to start off with the selection stuff. So what I'm actually going to do is create an interface, which I'm going to call iSelection Handler. iSelection, can't type, Handler. Let's pop this open. Yeah, cool. Like I say, this is going to be an interface. We aren't going to inherit from mono behavior because interface. We are not going to have any of our default methods. We're going to have a public void handle selected, which is going to take in a object of type T, not tabbed view, T, which we will call selected object. And something that you could probably see as well is that I've renewed my Copilot license, which is very handy because for anyone who doesn't know, Copilot, GitHub Copilot is a AI coding assistant that will predict what you're trying to type and give you some autofill, and it makes things so much faster. It's not the type of thing that you can just use and it'll do the code for you. It's like if you don't know what you're doing and you just fill it with random stuff, you might not end up with the right thing. But if you do know what you're doing and you can just, like, you know, start typing a line and it fills things out, it's brilliant. Which, funnily enough, actually, I used it for in my organizations, Sheepdog Studios and repositories, Shiba Core Utils, this lovely little Git repository here, which you can get access to via the Patreon, which is linked down below. This is the boilerplate code for every Unity project that I make ever. We've got all sorts of fun stuff in here for like basic extensions on Unity. There's some camera utilities, extensions for the color class, a coroutine that returns data. We've got an implementation of a state machine, which is completely generic. So you can go ahead and just create your own types of state and state manager. We've got, yeah, the command pattern implemented in there. What else have we got? We got loads of stuff. Spring animation utilities, UI management, save system. All of this is in here. And I had to, like, these were all scripts that I already had written. It was just compiling them for this so that you guys can get it again through the Patreon. that was like a lot of putting things into namespaces, removing any references to specific projects that they were in the first place. Like the save system especially was kind of different in a lot of different places, so I went through and fixed up a lot of that. GitHub Copilot came in clutch with doing that grunt work. It was like getting the namespaces organized and moving everything. I could just like type 2 letters, press tab, and it was exactly how I wanted it. So GitHub Copilot is awesome. If you know how to code and you want to speed up your workflow, I highly recommend grabbing yourself a license for it, because it's only like $10 a month or something, and it really boosts your productivity. Or if you're working at a company who uses GitHub for their source code management as a developer, ask if you can get a Copilot license through the organization, because that is also something that GitHub offers for orgs. Cool. So with the selection handler, what I'd actually like to do is have this handle the selection handler for a piece object. Whoops, I keep forgetting I've got to hit command period on Mac in VS Code rather than I think it was like option space in VS just normal Visual Studio. And you can see here, look, Copilot's already picked up exactly what I want to do. We want a selection handler, not for selection handler, for the board tile. I don't want to tab the whole thing, because I don't want to like delete all of what I've got here or write the exact same thing over the top. But now what we can do, instead of messing around with updating selected pieces and all that jazz, I'm going to go back to using iSelectable. So what we probably want to do actually, yeah, we want to say here where T is iSelectable, and then we can go ahead back on our board tile. We're going to make this selectable. Same thing with the piece, we'll make it selectable. And selectable basically is going to just implement the point-to-click handler, and that should be fine. We'll maybe do some like boolean. No, I don't think we need to do a boolean for saying selected. Actually, we can still just use that local to the piece itself. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to open this class up. I'm going to get rid of all of these bits. And yeah, we'll have set selected, and it will have to implement the interface by itself. Lovely stuff. I think that's fine too. For the selection handle, what did I do? Yeah, I just said handle selected. Yeah, good. Cool. Good stuff. So, I think probably instead of using a Unity event, I might switch to using events and delegates, just so I can name stuff explicitly. So I'm going to have a public delegate void handle tile selected, which takes a board tile, and then we'll have a public read-only static event, which I don't need to be read-only actually, I can just have it be static. Public static event, on tile selected, handle tile selected, on tile selected, and that's all good. And then we can invoke it the same as we were before. Let's go do a similar thing for the piece object. We're going to make a public delegate void handle piece event. And then we can replace these. So we're going to have read-only event handle piece event on piece selected. And then it's going to be a sorry, not read-only, static. Similar story for the rest of these things. Just going to go ahead and replace that there. And we'll figure out what we're going to do with that on piece selected state change in a moment. I think for the time being, I'm happy to leave it as is. That's selectable. Our board tile is selectable. So then for our this thing, our selection controller, we need to make sure that we do a plus equals, like so. And I think we're going to have, we've got two instances of handle selected. Which are different overrides of each other. I need to think to myself, can I just do handle selected and it will know the right type? I can, fantastic. Same deal here, handle selected. And then of course we have to go and remove the listeners as well. Handle selected. Also, let me know if the levels are not great, because I can't hear, obviously, the sound myself through my earphones. I think judging by the labels in OBS, we should be fine. My microphone is clipping a little though, so I am going to just turn that down. Like, I can't see if the microphone's on camera. It is a little bit. It's just, yeah, get that to a reasonable level. I'm going to turn down the music in my ears a little bit as well, because it's a touch loud. Sweet. So, let's get rid of this has moved boolean, because we're not actually using it anywhere. And we're going to have to do... Not fat lot, actually. We can just handle... We're basically going to do... do more or less what we've already done, which is in our handle selected for the piece. I think we can just go ahead and call handle piece selected with our selected object. And then for the board tile, at least for the time being, we're going to come back and change that in a moment. Actually, I've just thought, for the board tile, what we want to do is do a check to say if if selected piece is equal to null, or no, sorry, if selected piece is not equal to null, what do I want to do? Step through what I want to do. I want to make it so that if I click on the board tile, if we haven't got a selected piece, we select the piece that's sat on that tile if there is one. If we have, we just want to take. So if selected piece is not equal to null, we're just going to do the handle tile selected and return. Otherwise, let's do a check to say, look at that, it's come up with a log warning, no selected piece to move. I mean, that's not what I want to do, but it's a very decent suggestion from GitHub Copilot there, so big ups. What I would actually like to do, however, is say if selected object dot is occupied, then we handle piece selected with selected object dot occupying piece. That's perfect. Good job, GitHub Copilot. Otherwise, let's handle tile selected with our selected tile, because that's just going to go ahead and return out anyway. Is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? I think that's what I want to do. I mean, we should be good to test this now. If I go ahead and hit play, never mind. What's our error we've got here? Oh, yeah, okay, cool. We've just got to go ahead and convert these. Handle piece taken. Remove the listener. Good stuff. And just because I think it's worth talking about, the reason that I'm switching over to using delegates and events instead of Unity events is so that I can have some where's the piece object? Yeah, so that I can have some control over the naming of the parameters for the event type, and also being able to like really verbosely see what it is that that event is sending and what it represents. Because with a Unity event, you know, I can send as many parameters as I want. Like I could have a bool and a string and a piece and all the rest of it, but I don't know what this bool is, I don't know what this string is, and I don't know what the piece is. And especially if I've got 5 strings that I want to send, you know, it's kind of difficult. Or 3 strings, for example, in netcode, when updating a synchronized variable, sync var, if I send or on the event that listens for those sync var callbacks, it sends an old version and a new version. The types are the same, but if I was using a Unity event, it would just be 2 integers, and I don't necessarily know which one's in which order if that's code that I've written myself. So it's just, yeah, it's a little bit more verbose if I can specify the signature of the method that should be listening for this event, and then use it as the event listener. It's just that I prefer it a little bit more these days. Cool, let's test this out. I think everything should still work as it was before. Good, everything's placed, it moved. I can click on my piece and that's still fine. I can click on tiles. If I click on this tile, it's not selecting the piece. Okay, good to know. Here's a question. Is that because the tile doesn't know that its piece is there? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so clicking on the what's it does not do the do. So let's go back to the selection controller. Did I actually put the iSelectable? I did. And then in the selection controller, we're saying board tile unselected, handle selected, good. So maybe it is calling the wrong method, in which case that will be very annoying. Let's just put a quick little debug.log in here. Debug.log, selected piece, sure. I want to go back in my match manager as well, actually, and just remove some of those logs that we've got going on. Match manager. Just comment that out. Comment that out. Cool. And let's take a look at this. But first, I want a sip of milkshake. Something weird's gone on there. Okay. So it's not the wrong thing. One sec. Apologies. Something weird had happened with my milkshake. I don't know what, but it was not pleasant. Anyway, where were we? It's definitely calling the right method. Selected piece is not equal to null. Then we handle tile selected. Could it be that selected piece is not null? I mean, let's put some logs in. I don't want to log selected tile. I want to log piece selected, making move. And here I want to say no selected piece, selecting piece on tile. And then the one below, I guess we say a no selected piece, no piece on tile, selecting tile. Cool. So now we can kind of see where we're at. Also, I don't know if I had the MX Master last stream, but it's so nice in comparison to the mouse I had previously. Like, there's so many, the feel of it is great, and there's so many extra buttons, which is always nice. Yeah, it's like I can do all sorts with it. Anyway, play button. Let's see what's going on. Click, click. No selected piece, selecting piece on tile. Okay, so it is doing the thing, which makes me think that the occupying piece is null. So let's go ahead and debug that just to make sure. Handle piece selected. Just make sure that, yeah, selected piece is not equal to null. Set selected piece set the par. Update select piece dot selected question mark. Ah, that's going to be what it is. Because we're doing some selected gubbins on the piece. I think we just want to set the piece to be selected in here, don't we? Not in the piece itself. So let's make that change real quick. Close piece object. We only want to do this set selected when we actually select it. So let's not make it do set selected when we click on it. Get rid of that from there. Just invoke the method, and then back over in our selection controller, what we actually want to do is that, and then we can say if piece dot is dark, we're going to return. Otherwise, piece dot set selected, not piece dot selected. So we invert, and then we can update the selected piece based on that information. Cool. That should do it. Yeah. Now we should be good. I can hear my cat. Click on the square. Perfect. It selected my thing. I click on the square over here. Okay, so clicking on a square, that's interesting. If I click on the piece directly, then we get, oh, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be because the, yeah, because we've got a selected piece. So if we click on a square, it's just going to go ahead and handle the selected tile. What we really want to do is actually do this first. So let's just start this again. We want to say if the selected tile, so selected object, is occupied, then we'll do a check. We'll say if selected object occupying piece is dark, we're going to handle tile selected. Otherwise, we're going to handle piece selected. And then in the event that our tile is not occupied, we can just handle tile selected as normal. which in turn goes ahead, does nothing if we haven't got a piece selected. If we do have a piece selected, we check if it's a valid move, and then we clear the selection. Lovely stuff. So we should be back in line with where we were before, except now we can select pieces by clicking on the squares. And then we want to do the inverse of that. We want to make sure that we want to make it that we can select movements by clicking on the pieces. Good. So yeah, I can click on the squares instead of on the pieces themselves, and I can still make moves. Let's just confirm with the bishop. If I select the square, it picks it up, and if I select the square over here, it goes ahead and makes the move. Everything's good. If I try to click one of these guys, it's just debug.logging selected piece. Let's just remove that from there. It's not needed. But that's good. That's good. So everything's working there. Let's do the flip side and make it so that we can select our moves based on the pieces as well. So, still in the selection controller, we want to update our handle selected for the piece. And it's going to be a similar kind of story, actually, I guess. We're going to say, well, I guess we're basically just doing what's up here. Or rather, we want to say if selected piece is equal to null, we handle piece selected. Otherwise, sorry, yeah, I'm just thinking about how I actually want to do this. So if we haven't got a piece selected and we click on a piece, we want to say handle selecting that piece. If we have got a piece selected, we rather want to handle selecting the tile that the piece is stood on. So we're going to do handle tile selected, and it's going to be selected object. Yes, selected object to occupy tile. Perfect. GitHub Copilot knows exactly what I need to do. I really wish I was getting sponsored by GitHub. GitHub, please. I love your tools. This is great. So now we should be able to go ahead and select a piece normally. Yeah, we can click the piece to select the piece. We can click the tile to select the piece. Oh, I've just broken something. That's interesting. So if I click the piece to select it and then click the tile, we end up not clearing the selection somehow. So let's try and figure out what's going on there. Yeah, we just want to handle tile selected. Wait a minute. I'm just thinking about this line here. We're not actually checking if we've already selected anything, are we? Which means, yeah, when we handle tile selected, we are just going to return. But no, because our selected piece isn't null, so we should still be setting the selected piece to false and updating. I imagine what the issue is going to be is that our oh, let me check something. Let me check something real quick. Oh, that was something I forgot to mention as well. I've also removed the offset from our grid, which is why all of our pieces are starting in the bottom left corner. We're now working with the this tile here. Its corner is on 0, 0. and then I'm just moving the camera to be in the middle, which is much easier than trying to position the tiles around 0, 0 and then using those as the reference points. It was getting really messy. I want to select this bro over here, but the tile. So yeah, we've got our chess piece. If I click the chess piece, it raises up. If I click the tile, it doesn't go back down again. So yeah, it's not... It is clearing the selection, but it's not clearing the selection. Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah. Yeah. If I just click the piece, it seems to work fine. So click the piece again. Yeah, clicking the piece again deselects it. But clicking the piece and then clicking the tile deselects the visual, but doesn't deselect the piece. That's really interesting. Because all we're doing in the piece, when we select it, we invoke our handle piece selected. So I guess it's got to be something in the difference between this and this. I guess we maybe just do this in here. If selected piece is equal to null. No, because we do just want to handle the tile selected. Ah, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's this. It's this. Yeah, what we want to do is wrap this. If selected piece is not equal to null. Can't type. We're going to do all of that. Otherwise, we're going to handle tile selected with the selected object. Good. Because yeah, what we were doing before is we were saying there's a piece on this tile. If it's not dark, we handle piece selected, and we always want to handle tile selected. In the case of, yeah, if we click on a tile, even if we've got a tile in place, we want to, yeah, we want to handle the tile being selected, not the piece being selected, in the case that we've already got something picked. Click, click. Oh, it's still busted. What's that all about? And now I can't now I can't select the tiles at all. Maybe I got it the wrong way around. Maybe it needs to be if selected piece is equal to null. Yes, yes, that's right. If selected piece is null, we do all this jazz. No, no, that's not right. If I have a piece selected, hold on. I'm getting there. My brain is ticking over. If we have a piece selected, we want to check. I think we're gonna have to split this up into a few more pieces. So we want, if we have a selected piece, we're gonna do some things. Otherwise, we're gonna do some other things. Copilot again knew exactly what I was going for. So if we have a piece selected, we want to check for 3 different cases. It's either going to be we're picking another tile. Yeah, it's either going to be we're picking another piece. So the tile that we've selected has another one of our pieces on it, in which case we want to select that piece instead. We're going to be selecting a black piece, an opposing piece, in which case we want to take it, or we're going to be selecting an empty space. So what we want to do is say if selected object dot is occupied, i.e. there's something on the space, we want to say if it's, yeah, what we were doing before, if it's dark, we'll handle tile selected with this tile. Otherwise, we'll handle piece selected with the occupying piece. That's good. If it's not occupied, we just want to handle selecting the tile. Good. So here's where the catch is coming in. It's when we're doing handle piece selected. If we have a selected piece, we want to set it to be false. Yes, I think this is probably it. If selected piece is not equal to null, set that piece's selected state to false. If selected piece is equal to piece, we'll update our selected piece and then return. Fantastic. Then we can go through and do all the selection stuff. Beautiful. That should do it. So now if we haven't got a selected piece, we're just going to handle piece selected. Handle piece selected with the occupying piece. Wait, I need again to do this thing. The whole thing. If selected object dot is occupied, we handle piece selected. Otherwise, handle tile selected. Although I don't think we even need to do the handle tile selected. We just want to check if it's occupied, and then if it is, we can do the thing. So if we've got a selected piece, we want to check, is the tile we're selecting occupied? If it is the thing dark? Okay, let's handle the tile selected. Otherwise, let's just pick the piece. If we are not occupied, we'll handle selecting the tile, because we want to check if it's a valid move. Otherwise, if we haven't got a selected piece, are we already occupied? If the selected object dot selected occupying piece is dark, we want to only select it if it's not dark. Although I think we're doing that check up here, aren't we? Yeah. So we can go ahead and do that as was. Okay, we should finally be there. Should finally be there. Clicking over here on that tile, nothing's happening. Clicking on the pieces, nothing's happening. We're all good over here. If I click on a piece, that's selected. Click on the tile, deselected it. Click on the tile, select it. Click on the piece. Good. Everything looks like it's behaving as it should be. I can pick here, I can move. That's great. I want an opportunity to capture something. Don't move your bishop. Good man. I click the tile. Click the piece. Yep. great, everything's taken. Let's see if I can get myself another one. Oh, and it tried to move a piece that can't move. I think we're good. I think we're good. The logic seems to be sound. So, now that that's all in place, let's start actually working on our plan. So, the main piece of the plan that's really going to come into play is with this chess deck. And being able to separate that from the match manager, because what we want to do is make sure that we keep track of the pieces that the player has constantly, but then within the context of a match we want to keep track of what piece objects they have on the board. Same goes for our enemy, where we want them to have a list of piece objects that they can like iterate over for the piece objects that they have on the board, not the pieces they have on the board. So that way, when a piece object is taken, it can fire off an event for when it's taken, on piece taken. We can listen for that and have the piece be removed from the list, which I think we could probably get onto doing kind of already. But anyway, let's go ahead and split some things up. So I'm going to go ahead and make this chess deck class, which I guess we'll put under board management. Chess deck. Go ahead and pop this open. And I think I'll have it be a mono behavior for now. I don't think it needs to be, but this is basically going to hold a similar thing to what our board config holds at the moment. We'll have a list of board tile data that will be piece templates, or piece, the class, the instance of a piece, mapped to some position. Rather than piece data, it will be piece. So, I mean, you know, let's go ahead and do it like that. We're going to have a public dictionary, can't type, dictionary, which is going to be a vector2 int and a piece. We're not going to have this be a mono behavior, because we'll actually set up the defaults in someone else, but this will have like a bunch of utilities on it. So we'll have like a public yeah, let's make a constructor first, chess deck, which will probably take in a list of board tile data, board data, and that's doing pretty much exactly what I want it to do. And we also want to pass in a bool for is dark, which we're not going to default to false because we want it to be required. And this is great because it means that we can abstract away or remove the dependency on a definition for if it's dark on the board config, I guess. So I think at the moment piece is just this, but what it's actually going to be, we don't need to check if the tile oh, and this has got this all wrong as well. Why is this called board? You should not be called board. Rename that. You're going to be deck. Or yeah, let's call it deck. Call it deck. So our piece is going to be our tile data dot piece data. And actually, this isn't going to be in our board tile data. We don't want piece data anymore. We want piece template. So let's put a to do in here real quick. Oops. To do. Replace with piece template class needs creating. But then what we will actually do for grabbing the piece is we'll say tile or tile data dot piece template dot generate piece, and that will return us the piece, which is great. The piece data will never be null, so I am just gonna say we're just gonna say new piece for now. To do replace with piece template dot generate piece. Cool. Lovely stuff. So then there'll be like other utility methods like public void or public, let's do balls try remove piece. And yeah, if deck.try get value, out piece, deck.remove, return true, return false. Amazing. Public void swap pieces. We don't want to remove the from and add the to. Instead, we want to see if our from exists. We cache the piece. We also want to do a check to see if we've got the to. Do we want to see if we've got the to? I guess we can say for the from, yeah, we'll remove from, and then we'll add I think we can say if deck dot try get value 2 out var 2 piece. Let's rename this one to from piece. Whoops. So if we have a 2 piece, then we can remove the 2. Add the from, add the 2 piece at the from place, like that, and then regardless we're gonna add the from piece at the 2 position. That was a bit of a brain scramble. That was a bit of a brain scramble, but basically what we're doing, we're saying, is there actually a piece at the position that we're trying to swap from? If there is, let's remove the piece from the position, the from position, or remove the entry for the from. And then if there's also a piece where we're trying to put it, we'll remove that piece as well. Add the from piece, or add the 2 piece to the original position. And then regardless of if that piece was there at all or not, we're going to add the from piece to the 2 position. So it literally is swapping them around. Let's also have a public void move piece to position. Yep, Copilot coming in clutch again. If we have a value from, then we're going to remove the from and add it to the 2. Yeah, great. I think that is actually everything we need. I'm wondering if it probably makes more sense to you know what, I'll have a public bool is dark on here, which we can have as a get private set, just so that we've got it cached. I think that's fine. And then I think that's basically the chess deck done. And then we'll have 2 instances of chess deck in our match manager, but we'll go and sort that out in a second. We're an hour in, we've got an hour to go. I still think we can do this. So in terms of what we've got in our diagram, we've just done this. That's about it. We've just done the chess deck. The piece itself is basically like all of this stuff that we've got up the top, the piece and the scriptable object types that we've got here are all stuff that we already have. They just need rearranging. So let's do that, shall we? We're going to go ahead and make our piece template. Let's just make sure I haven't already made that somewhere by accident. I haven't. Good. You're going to be a scriptable object. We are going to do exactly what Copilot suggested we do there and have a public piece generate piece. We don't need to pass any piece data in because we're going to have it all stored on this thing anyway. And we are going to return a new piece, which with that, actually, I think we should probably make a factory, or a builder, sorry. Yeah, I think we could do a builder. So this is where I probably want to refer back to git amend. Git amend Fluent builder. Or not a Fluent builder, sorry. I don't think that's what we're after. But we do want a builder. Well, perhaps it is a Fluent builder. Yeah, here we go. So we got enemy.builder, and this just, you can specify it to have a whole bunch of stuff. And it returns a new builder. With all that stuff. Does it then have, I think it then has like a build method on the end of it. Let's just watch the section. This man knows what he's talking about, and he does it very well. Turn down the music.
This with a Fluent builder. Now, Fluent builder is called Fluent because it's easy to read. What it does is stores all the properties required to actually build the enemy or whatever it is you're building, and then has methods that return itself every time you set one of the properties. So we can set the name, we can set the health, etc., and we're always returning itself. We return the builder every time. And then finally, we have a build method. We'll create a new whatever it is we're building. Now, in this case, enemy has a mono behavior. Mono behaviors cannot be created using the new keyword. What we should do instead here is create a new game object. We can just call it enemy, and we'll add the enemy component to it and set all the properties. Now, you can see another issue here in the inspector, and that is we've got private setters on all of these properties. Well, one way to do that that's very common is to have the builder class actually be a subclass of whatever it is that you're building. So I'm going to rename it, I'm going to call it builder, and I'm going to move it inside of the enemy class. Now it's public, so if I come over here to the game manager, I can say enemy equals new enemy builder, and then...
Perfect. So that's exactly what we're looking to do. Let's get the music back. And... back to a reasonable volume. So yeah, literally exactly like that. We're going to have a new child class in here, public class builder, which we don't want to have a private piece. We want to have a private list of movement data, movement data. We want to have a private piece data, and it's actually going to be the case that we replace, yeah, it's going to be, we'll have a piece data and a list of piece adjustments, like so, and then we'll do a public builder with piece data, public builder with movement data, We're not going to say movement data equals movement data. We're going to say just passing in a movement data, and we'll say movement data.add. But we'll also validate that it's not in there already. So if not movement data.contains, again, oh my gosh, Copilot coming in clutch with the autofill. And then let's do our build. Public piece build. And then for our piece, we can have it take a piece data and a movement data. So public piece. And let's also have a reference to our piece data up here as well. I think we could probably make these public with a get private set, because we'll want to be able to reference them. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead here and say piece data equals piece data. Perfect. And then in our generate piece, we can just do exactly what we wanted to do. So yeah, we need piece data, we want a public list of movement datas, and then we can say var piece builder equals new piece.builder dot with piece data, and then for each var move data in movement datas, say piece builder dot with movement data, and then return piece builder dot build. Beautiful. That's nice and simple. Love to see it. 10 out of 10. And then over back in our chest deck, we want to return tile data dot piece data, which actually is going to be piece template dot generate piece. So let's go ahead and get this updated. Gonna be a piece template. There we go. Amazing stuff. Trying to think where we're up to now with our progress here. And what errors are we going to have spat out? Yeah, there we go. Doesn't contain a definition for piece data. This is during the game setup, and that's pretty spot on, because we actually don't want to be referencing any piece data. We want to just pass through pieces. We want to create pieces at positions. Right, so this is where we're gonna need to start sorting out some things. So we've got a list of piece objects for each of our pieces. What we would like to do is have a public chess deck. This is going to be the player deck, and a public chess deck enemy deck. Beautiful. And when we create the pieces, we're going to iterate over all the pieces in the deck, basically, and set them up like that. So player pieces equals new. Let's just have I think in the board config, what do we have? We have a list of board data. I'm trying to think if I want to... I probably want to set this up, not just to be board data, but I probably want like the player pieces. Yeah. Player pieces and a public list enemy pieces. The match manager is now going to play, and that's the initial config. That's all good. Eventually this is going to move up into our game manager class instead of the piece manager, or the match manager, sorry. And now we're going to do initial config dot board data dot player pieces. Oh, it's just player pieces, isn't it? Yeah, initial config dot player pieces dot for each. And then we're going to add board manager dot creative position, and it's going to be d dot tile position, d dot create piece of position. Okay, we want to go through here first. We want to replace this with taking in a piece, not a piece data. I think we can rename this to piece. Straight up. And then the new piece dot set piece data, we're just going to pass in a piece on this as well, because this is going to be our piece object. So actually let's rename this to set piece. Take in a piece. We don't need a boolean for is dark because that's going to be stored in the piece. Let's rename this to whoopsie daisy. I don't want emojis. Stop. There we go. Rename piece. Don't need is dark anymore. We still want all the visuals, and we're going to initialize the visuals with this. You're going to be a piece now. We don't need that anymore. Oof, that's thrown us a lot of errors. That's fine, that's fine. We can go through and sort all of those. I just want to make sure we've not got any issues here. Piece.valid moves. It's going to be piece.piece data dot valid moves. And this is going to be piece.isDark. Does piece not contain a definition for isDark? It doesn't. Let's give it a definition for isDark. Public bool isDark. Which I think we're probably going to get from the piece data, right? Is that how we set it up? Honestly, I can't remember. I'm jumping all over the place. I don't think that's how we set it up. Yeah, no, it's not. We do it on the chess deck. This is why I'm wondering if I want to put it on the piece, or if I want to put it on the. Yeah, we'll put it on the piece. I'm going to pass through isDark on here, and we're going to go back to our generate piece method, take in a bool isDark, and on our piece builder, I'm going to add a new public builder for team bool isDark, and that means we also need this on here. Private bool isDark. Perfect. And then, yeah, we can... What did I say I was going to do on the chest deck? Not the chest deck, sorry, the piece template. When we build it, we want to say... with data for team. And I think we're probably gonna... We could probably add a with datas, with movement datas, instead of just with movement data. Like that, and pass in our movement datas. I think that makes a lot more sense. And then on our piece... public builder with movement datas, and we want a list of movement datas, and I think I'd still like to just make sure we're not ending up with any duplicates. So I want to say movement data equals new, and then for each var data and movement datas, if movement data dot contains data is false, then we can add the data. Cool. And then our piece template is all good. That's nice and clean. I think I want to do the for team. So piece.build for team with piece with movement datas. That's just clean. Doesn't C# have sets? It does. But there was a reason that I wasn't using them. I just can't remember what it was. And now I'm committed. I'm committed to lists. Yeah, I think it's hash sets in C# as default. And there's something with it. It's probably to do with them not being serializable in the Unity editor by default, to be honest. Which means that I can't see them in the inspector, and that makes me sad. Right, so now I've got to go through and undo all of the guff that I've just done. So anywhere where we're referencing occupying piece.isDark, we want to replace with occupying piece.piece, which means we probably want to rename this to occupying piece object. Let's do that. And that means we need to go ahead and save our board tile again. Bruh. There we go. You're good, you're good. I think that's not all of our errors. Yep, here we go. Piece.piece. Let's rename this to piece object. Cool. That's all of the errors for our selection controller. The piece object we still need to do some bits with, I imagine. Or perhaps we don't, because now we've got all the stuff. I guess we need to set... Oh yeah, we're setting the piece. Fantastic. So that's all good. So then, yeah, it's going to be the match manager and the board manager. We're now setting the piece. We're taking a piece. We don't need to pass in isDark because we're doing that here, which means we can remove the isDark from the create piece at position. Cell position, we don't need that anymore because we're not translating anything anywhere. So that's good, and that is actually all of the errors that we had in this one. So the final thing is just the match manager, where when we handle the game setup for the time being, we're going to create our chest decks in here based on the initial setup. So I'm going to say, do we have a constructor for the chest deck? We do. Amazing. And we're doing that based off of the initial config. Good. So we are going to say set up the game board, that's all fine. And then we want to initialize our decks, and I'll do a to-do. Look at that, it knows. It's like it's been listening to me. Move to game manager, so we'll say player deck equals new chess deck, initial config dot player pieces. And then false. And then we want the enemy deck to equal new chess deck, initial config dot enemy pieces, true. And then for our player pieces and the enemy pieces for that matter, we'll do initial config. We don't even need to do initial config, we can just do player deck dot pieces for each var KV pair in player deck. Amazing. Create piece of position, key value. Same thing for our enemies. I wonder if it knows. It does. Cool. And then I think we'll also want to... We want to get this piece back. So that we can then listen for the event for when it gets taken. But we'll sort that out in a second. For now, I want to just make sure that everything is working as it was before. So let's see if we have any errors. We have loads of errors. Piece visual... We are taking in a piece object and we want visualized object dot piece dot is dark, visualized object dot piece data. That's all of that. Dot piece data. Piece dot... I think I should be able to do piece dot is dark. It's because it's a list of piece objects. Let's rename this. Function, piece, object. Piece, object. Piece object dot piece dot is dark. Very nice. What engine am I using? I'm using Unity. Occupying piece object dot piece dot is dark. Almost there. Piece object dot piece data. And we're gonna have to rename piece data eventually. Piece object dot piece dot is dark. And last one. Occupying piece object dot piece dot is dark. Amazing. We are sorted. That's all of our errors. Let's see if our behavior is still functioning as it was before. Which, you know, touch wood, we should be good. Oh no! We're not getting any pieces made. No! That's not ideal. Why is it not making our pieces? Have I messed something up? I mean, obviously I've messed something up. What did I mess up though? That's the question. Oh god. I'm gonna close all my editors and go ahead and check my match manager, because this is where we start. Board manager.create piece of position. That does return the piece object. Create piece apps. Oh, I know what it is. It's because we've just updated our thing. So now all of our data is going to be kind of busted. So we need to actually go through and set the pieces. And we don't need this bool is dark anymore on our board config. We don't need that because it's just going to be set based on the if it's in the player pieces array or the enemy pieces array. Very nice. Cool. So oh, and we need to actually move stuff over to being piece templates instead of piece data. So let's do that, shall we? You're a piece data, you're a piece data. I haven't made a create asset menu for the piece template, so let's do that. Piece template. And actually I'm gonna copy the one from the piece data. Yoink. Boink. Lovely stuff. Piece data elements, there's going to be a piece template, and this is going to be new piece template. Takes a piece data, takes a movement data. The piece data now does not need movement data, it just needs the name, the type, and the visual. Don't even know if we necessarily need a type anymore, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we use that to map the mesh eventually. I'm not too fussed right now. Oh god, and now we've got all sorts of funky stuff going on, because the piece should have the valid moves. Wait a minute. Movement datas. Yeah, this needs to be piece.movement datas, doesn't it? There we go. Let's go fix that in our other places. Lovely stuff. We'll sort our enemy AI out in a moment. We need to go ahead and repopulate all of our goblins first. So our knight no longer has any moves. Good. Pawn has no moves. Bishop has no moves. And I'm actually going to go ahead and rename these to like bishop data, knight data, pawn data. And I think actually that means I can move my movement data out. And we'll create a folder for piece templates as well. And I think while we're at it, let's go ahead and make the other datas for our pawn, bishop, knight. We want rook data. Gonna be a rook, rook. And actually, you know what? I think for the data, we can probably remove the name as well, because that's actually going to be part of the template. So in the piece template, we'll have a public, that's not how you spell public string piece name. Yeah, because we might have something like a golden knight or a glass rook or whatever as templates that you can buy from the shop or start the game with. Because like I kind of say in the title of this game, my vibe is that I want this to be like a Balatro chess game, in that you can you have like effects that will apply to cards. Balatro chess-like. This sounds amazing. Oh, I'm glad you think so. It's a good thing I'm about to try and explain it. Yeah, so like the chess pieces will be effectively like the jokers and the cards at the same time, in that you can apply effects to them, make them glass, make them gold striped, diamond encrusted, whatever. There's loads of ideas that we can probably play around with. And then I also want to introduce some concept of like some kind of card or some kind of token or something that you can also buy, which sits on the side. Which did make me wonder if maybe I should do this more like shogi, because especially mini shogi is a really nice looking game, and for anyone who doesn't know what shogi is, it's a like an old form of Japanese chess, which I only know about from 51 Clubhouse 51 Worldwide Games, and I'm obsessed with mini shogi on there, and it's very cool. So I was thinking maybe we do that, because then we can introduce like tokens and stuff, but we'll see. Yeah, shogi is fantastic. Definitely chess fans should play shogi, because it's like chess but deeper. It's great. I love it. Right, another piece data. We've got pawn, we've got knight, rook, bishop. We need a queen data. You're going to be a queen, and the mesh is going to be my queen mesh. And you know what, let's just duplicate king data. King. And you know, this is the other thing that I wanted to steal from Balatro as well, is like challenges. So things like you know, your basic, you'll have you'll have like sets of basic piece setups, which would be like, you know, your front line of pawns, your bottom lines, and maybe we have like you know, the shogi setup, which would be your king in the bottom left corner, a pawn in front, and then like a bishop, rook. Well, I can't remember what the order of the pieces are. Your standard chess setup, king in the middle, queen next to it, couple rooks and some pawns, because I'm only doing 5 across. Things like that. And then there will be challenge runs. So maybe you have one that's like, I don't know, the Glass Army, and it's just like all pawns, 2 rows of pawns with a king in the middle, and you've got to try and beat the game with that, or I don't know, yeah, like a lone king or something that is, you just start with the king, and we can affect like how much money you get, what the options in shops end up being, all sorts. It's going to be super fun trying to build this thing out. And I think as well, because I'm kind of building it in such a way that it doesn't apply all of the rules of chess, just like the core principles of the rules of chess, it should be more accessible for people who aren't like basic chess players anyway. That's my hope, at least. So let's go and make some templates, shall we? I'm going to make a piece template, basic pawn, and this is going to be a pawn. It's going to have the pawn data as its piece data, and the movement data, we are going to have a forward step and a pawn capture. Nice. And then I think what I'll also do is just make a basic king. King data. King. He's going to have a forward step, a diagonal step, and a sideward step. So let's just take our forward step, duplicate. Backward step. Leftward step. Rightward step. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a folder that is my steps. And I'm gonna make another folder underneath. Basic. Oh, that's not how you spell basic. It's gonna be basic and captures. So, backward step. Forward step, leftward step, rightward step. Not that I think we would ever want to move leftward and rightward separate, but I think we'll keep it anyway. Let's have diagonal step. And we need to go ahead and update the movement offsets. So let's start with the backward step. Backward step is going to be -1 on the Y. The leftward step is going to be -1 on X and 0 on Y. And the rightward step is going to be 1 on X and 0 on Y. Not 10, 0. There we go. Diagonal step is going to be 1, 1. 1, -1. -1. -1. Not -10. Come on. -1. And -1, -1. like so. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And this is going to be captures. And I think you can see where this is going. Backward capture, diagonal capture. Forward capture. Leftward capture. And rightward capture. And we're going to go through and just check the captures on here, and we're also going to check move without capture as well, to make sure that we can still move normally on all of these. Yeah, cool. So then on our king template, basic king, we can have the forward step, which isn't going to be a forward step. It's just going to be all of our captures, all of our basic captures. I need to sneeze. Bless me. Cool. That's everything we need. And I'm actually thinking something else that I could probably do is once again invert the Y position on the you know what, I'm not going to faff with that for now, because I'll go down a rabbit hole. I was going to say I could invert the Y position on the enemy deck, or even just invert it entirely, so that we can set both of them up how we would if we were like playing from that perspective, and it will just put them in the right place. I'm tempted to do that. We'll maybe go and do that in a moment. For now though, let's just go ahead and say, I'm going to say one forward, we're going to have a basic pawn, and I want to do that, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. These are all going to be pawns. Click it. Basic pawn. Basic pawn. And then we're going to have one more, which is at 0, 2, or 2, 0. And that's our basic king. So slap in the middle on the back line. And it's going to be a similar story for our enemy pieces, but we need to push this all the way to the back line on the Y. So it's going to be 4, because we're a 5x5 grid. 3, sorry. 3, 0, basic pawn. Bang, 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 bang. 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, and 3, 4. Basic pawn, basic pawn, basic pawn, and basic pawn. And something that I didn't mention, but I'm allowing you to place the king in check, and I'm doing that on purpose, because, you know, maybe we want like some kind of token that's called saving throw or something like that, where it's like if your king would be captured, spend this token to move it to a random position or something like that. You know, we can do all sorts of fun stuff. Cool. So theoretically we should be able to just hit play and everything will work as it was working before. Of course it won't. Yo, it almost did. It almost did, but it's setting our enemies to also be white. So let's go ahead and see what's up with that. Match manager, it's going to be something to do with our chess deck. Ball is dark. As dark as is dark. Generate piece is dark. For team is dark. So the piece is dark. We end up saying that's a true. So why is that not working? Create piece of position. set piece, piece equals piece, visual initialize with this, pass in a piece object, update visual, piece object dot piece data, piece object dot piece dot is dark. Yeah, okay, so I think for some reason our enemy data is not, our enemies aren't getting set to being dark. That's certainly what it seems like anyway. We've only got about 20 minutes, but I mean, this is great. We've, this is done. We've just got, this is called piece movement instead of piece adjustment. We'll probably potentially even have piece adjustment be something separate. Also, if anyone's watching this after the fact and is wondering, this software that I'm using is called eraser.io. It's a really cool website. So far, I think it's actually become my favorite diagramming platform, mainly for the sake of being able to have markdown documents and a canvas and being able to see them both at the same time, but also just from the simplicity of it as well. It's really easy to use, it's really clean, and recently they've added some, again, AI tooling where you can like go ahead, I think it's Command-Shift-J, nope. Get out of here. Command-J? Yeah, Command-J, and then you can just type in a prompt for what you want to generate diagram-wise. And it'll generate it, and it can do, yeah, sequences, entity relationship diagrams, cloud architecture, flow diagrams, all sorts. There's a pro tier, you get 20 credits as a baseline. I used this for messing around with some, messing around with some planning for a separate project. But yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. And I prefer it to like Miro and definitely Draw.io or anything like that. So highly recommend. Okay, let's see. Tile data, piece template, generate piece is dark. Generate piece, we say piece builder is new piece dot builder for team is dark with piece data. So let's do a quick debug.log here. Generating piece for team is dark. It knows exactly what I want. There we go. It's here. We're not passing through our is dark value, and we also need to update bool is dark and say is dark equals is dark. That's going to be what we were missing. We weren't actually setting it to be dark, and now everything should be as it was. Fantastic, look at that. So we can go ahead and start making moves. The enemy really sucks. You know what, I'm just going to push into territory. Moving the king. Let's check it. Was that a legal move? I wasn't paying attention. And then we take the king, and that would be the end of the game. Sweet. So, I'm just going to check that actually, like, we played a legal move there. Because it kind of looked like maybe something illegal might have happened. Bear with me. What we'll do now, though, is set up the events with capturing the piece and having the callback go to our pieces. And oh no, it was a legal move. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Even just watching it back, I was like, wait, was that actually illegal? But it wasn't. It was perfectly legal. We are in the money, boys. Cool. So we can check a lot of stuff now. Actually, we can say on the match manager, when we handle the turn evaluation, we want to check if either king has been taken. And if so, we'll handle the win. So let's start by checking the players team for each yo, did that just do like exactly what I wanted to do? I think it did. Piece for each piece in player pieces. If it's a king, I think this is going to be piece type dot king, all caps. Yeah, if it's a king, we return or break. Oh, I need to think about this actually, don't I? Maybe we could use link, but I don't think it's going to be very efficient. Basically, what we want to do, we want to go over all the pieces and say if none of them were a king, yes, let's do a flag. Ball player king alive equals true. No, equals false. If we find a king, we'll say player king alive equals true, and then we can do a check if not player king alive, player lose, and then we'll do the same thing for the enemy, which actually it knows exactly what I want. Look at that, that's amazing. Didn't have to type anything, and that is exactly what we needed. So yeah, in both cases we do the things. Yeah, check if either king has been taken. That's done. And I think what we'll do is just in the handle player win, let's debug.log player wins, and down in the enemy or the player loses, debug.log player loses. Amazing. That is fantastic. So yeah, the only other thing that we need to do then is on the match manager, we need to make sure that we go ahead and add a listener for each of our players, or the removal of our pieces when they get taken. So let's have a private void handle enemy piece taken, and private void handle player piece taken, and then when we do the game setup, we can say var piece equals that, add the piece in there, and then say piece.onPiece taken plus equals handle piece taken. Did I make it static? I did make it static. I don't want you to be static. Because I just want to listen for when that single piece is taken. Yeah. Make sure to unsubscribe as well, seeing as we're doing it that way. And let's do the same thing for our enemy pieces. Beautiful. So now we shouldn't be getting any errors with Why am I doing this here? I wonder. We could do it when we initialize. And then when we handle being taken, let's unsubscribe. So we don't need to do the check anymore. We know that it's our piece that's being taken. Sweet. And actually, you know what? I think we can do that on the on-destroy. Just to make sure that if, you know, if we X out of play mode early, it's going to unsubscribe there. And we probably want to do the same on the on-destroy here. Yeah, cool. Copilot. It's a no-brainer. Get Copilot. Get Copilot, guys. Just do it. Sweet. So if I were to take this piece, it's now never going to try and move it again. I'm going to push forwards because I want to take the king. Oh, it took my pawn. I can take it back. And then we take the king. Player wins. Woo! Amazing. Great. I mean, we can still progress through our turn. Why can we still progress through our turn? That's probably something I want to fix. But we can see that our king is moving as he should be. Except for that top left diagonal corner, which means I've messed something up with our diagonal capture. Yeah, there it is. That should be -1/1. Boom. Works perfectly. So let's make sure that we can only do that if the current state of the match manager, which I think is a singleton, it's not a singleton. I didn't make it a singleton. I mean, what we'll probably do is have we'll use like Blackboard methodology or something so that we can share the current state of the match, or even potentially if we've got a game manager that's a singleton and it's running a match currently, we can make an instance of this match manager and be able to reference that from the game manager. I think that should be fine. Cool. Just going to remove some of these to-dos. Let's do a bit of board cleanup, or code cleanup, sorry. Create player pieces. I don't want the indent there. Create enemy pieces. Wait for the player's move input. That's done. Don't need that anymore. I think I can get rid of that comment as well. Great. Yeah, cool. I think that's probably a pretty decent place to wrap up, to be fair. We have implemented everything that we had going on here. The only thing we haven't done is make this abstract piece visual, which I guess we could maybe do that quickly in the next 5 minutes. But we've sorted out our board manager and board tile separately. We updated our selections so that we can select either the squares or the pieces, and everything will move as we want it to. We've created our piece template scriptable object, which can generate a piece and return us back some instance of piece, which we can store in a data structure of sorts so that we can use it in other places. We've created our chess deck class, which has a list of these pieces, or a dictionary of these pieces for where the pieces belong and what their data is. Yeah, we've done a good amount. Let's go ahead and just make this abstract game piece visual, which yeah, we're going to rename piece visual to game piece visual and make piece visual the abstract. So let's do that. Piece visual, rename, game piece visual, and I want to make sure we go into this, change this to game piece visual. Oh god, I want to make sure that I rename that. Good, good, good. And then a lot of this we're going to just abstract away into our own little abstract mono behavior. So let's stick these side by side. Now what, let's just close everything. Game piece visual and piece visual. Collapse that so we can see everything good. You're going to be abstract. And you're going to be a piece visual. Fantastic. So now we can take this, we can move it up here. We can take this and move it up here, make it protected instead of private. And protected. I think we can keep the initialize separate because I'm going to want to change how we do that based on what kind of piece visual it is that we're creating. The materials can stay down there, visualize piece can stay down there, this can move up. Is there anything else that we can move up? Update visuals. Yeah, I think we can move this up. I'm going to make this an override, I think. Make it virtual up here. Maybe I do move the materials up. Make these protected. If I could type protected and protected. So then that's all fine. And then down here in this override, we'll just do base.update visuals and also do the rotation based on if it's dark or not, because we don't want to rotate it in the shop necessarily. And I think we'll probably also just set this to be true. Sorry, false by default, because it's going to be potentially in the shop. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Or perhaps we just like take this out completely and we have it taken a material. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, you know. Well, because I still want to be able to set the rotation in the update visuals method, but that requires me knowing if it's dark or not. But then actually, you know, I've already got a reference to my piece object, so I can just say piece object dot piece dot is dark. Visualize piece. There we go. Then I don't need this. I can instead pass a material, piece material, piece material. And we'll say the set materials. For now, we're just going to have it be piece material. I think in future we'll probably need this to be a list, because it, you know, will maybe have an impact there for what am I trying to say? It'll probably have an impact there for like additional layers that we've got applied. So like, yeah, glass. We'll want to have like a dark glass material, a dark or a light glass material, dark gold, etc., etc. Cool. I think that should all be good. Let's just double check that I haven't actually removed, accidentally, sorry, removed the, oh, of course I will. I've just changed the pieces over, haven't I? So in my prefabs on the chess piece visual, bang bang. Great, everything's good there. I'm actually going to rename this to game piece visual. Chess piece, that's all fine. Hit play and make sure everything's still working. I see no reason why it shouldn't be. Boom. Move the king first. Took my pawn, god. Take it back. I'm gonna take that one too, just for the fun of it. And now I need to probably come in and flank the king a little bit. Ah, moved out the way. If I move my king and it gets taken. There we go. And the player loses. Great, that's perfect. So we've officially tested everything we've done. We've implemented our new architecture. So everything is really nicely detached now. We can just go ahead and make a bunch of stuff. And we'll be able to just generate everything really nicely in accordance with this lovely diagram we've got here. We'll need to do some more updates, obviously. We need to actually make a game manager, which can then hold the player's chess deck and probably the enemy's chess deck too, or at least have some way of generating enemy chess decks, and we can probably create an enemy class as well. But I imagine we'll plan that in tomorrow's stream, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about doing AI and stuff, because it's definitely going to take some thought. We'll have to figure out a probably some kind of depth search system so that the enemy can see some number of steps into the future and calculate which one's going to be better for allowing them to take the king. So I'll have to do some research before we dive into that, and we can talk about it when we get there. But I think that is a very good place to round off this episode. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching the stream. If you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and all the rest of it. You can join the Discord server down below if you want to get more regular updates / get involved with deciding what we do on streams, what kind of new videos we get, and show off your own stuff as well. If you want to support the studio financially, we have a link to the Patreon in the description where you can get access to the Shiba Core utils, which is all of the scripts that I've written to use in any Unity project that I use ever. I update it, or will be updating it regularly, so it's a cool little thing to have if you want to speed up your creation process. If you don't want to support on the Patreon and just want to support as a one-off, or want to leave like a little thanks, there is a buy me a coffee link over on the side there as well. And yeah, I think that's everything. thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.